Hello, my name is Jessica Lynn and I'm the owner of JessicaLynnOriginal.com. I'd like to go ahead and just do a quick tutorial on a couple of ways to use the MISTI. Now, I'm using the mini MISTI. I will tell you that I'm left-handed, so for me the tool already kind of has thrown me off because it's geared for right-handed people. So as you can see, my ruler is already upside down because for me, I want to go this way being left-handed. Not a big deal, but if you are left-handed and you prefer to work that way, just know it does feel a little backwards. But not a big deal. And I honestly have yet to actually use these rulers. I've focused more on the grid and actually where I'm stamping. So the first thing I'm going to show you is just basic stamping with the MISTI. Super easy. Really enjoy this tool. Show you. I'm just going to put my paper in there and you can see it nicely just folds right in there. Now there is a piece of foam, so if you have stamps with foam risers, probably don't want to leave that in there. You want to take it out. I'm going to show a clear stamp. So the clear stamp that I have here, this is our JessicaLynnOriginal Corgis. So these are the little dog stamps. Okay. So we'll go ahead and choose our Corgi stamp. So you can see I've got my clear stamp. If you've never used our stamps before, they are clear, high-grade photopolymer. So they actually are extremely sticky, really nice quality, last for quite a long time. Now the nice part about this is I can go ahead and say, okay, well here's where I want it to be because I want to see if I can maximize the most of these on my paper. So you can say, go ahead and put it on there. It sticks right to where I want it. I'm going to focus that back in the corner. Okay, so when I go to stamp it, so now what I'm going to do is open it on up. Now I am going to throw a magnet on there. Be careful with these magnets. They are extremely strong. Everyone says that, and you go, yeah, they're really strong. And then the minute that you use them, they snap on your fingers, and you go, oh yes, they really are. So, the ink I'm using is close to my heart, so I'm just going to go ahead and ink that on up. Now I did get a little on there, so I'm just going to wipe that off. You could use a baby wipe or any of that good stuff. So now I'm going to go ahead, put it in place, stamp it on up. Probably don't even need to push that hard, but just making sure. And then I'm going to go ahead, release, and you can see there's my image. Alright, the next one we'll look at on the MISTI is the, what do you want to call it? Let's say, my ink is dying, and I used the wrong one. So I need to stamp something more than once. So for this one, I'm using our Brentwood Owl Tiki set. So let me just show you what happens here. So I've got it on here, and let's say my ink is dying. Okay, so I'm going to ink it up. And let's say I don't do it all the way. So I'm purposely not stamping it very well. So if you look, there's not a lot of ink. So I can go, okay, I thought my ink was okay. And I go, oh no, I got nothing. That's pretty horrible, right? So I can come back in and say, okay, well, let me grab a better ink, or let me ink this ink pad up. I can come back in. And because I got the magnets down, I can slide it a little. So let me use this ink pad, which I know has better ink on it. Okay. So all inked up. So now what I can do is come back in, and because the magnets are holding it in place, I can re-stamp right on that. And I don't have to worry about, ooh, it's off by, you know, a fraction of a hair. So I go in, I re-ink, and look at how much better that looks. Okay, so this is actually pretty nice because it can save a lot of projects. How many times have you gone all the way through it? I don't know if you watched my last video on the King Cavalier dogs, but I screwed up and stamped something and I'm like, no, I can't go back and fix it. Well, by doing it this way, it now gives you the option to be able to go back in and fix maybe a bad image or something that didn't stamp as strong as it should have. The other thing I really like about the MISTI is if you are part of a card swap and you're making a bunch of cards that are the same, you can actually go in and set this up for mass production. So this is our calendar planner stamp set. We have 4 of these currently. I don't know if you can see, but there's these really cute little weathers, like weather stamps. So I am going to set them up on my page the way I want them to look. Let's peel them all off first. Okay. So I'm going to come in, line them all up. And I'm not doing anything fancy here. Just I'm showing you that if you were going to design, let's say, the same card over and over again, and you wanted it to look identical, so, you know, all, you know, if you do the 5+1, right, and you're going to swap them out, you know that they all look the same. Oh, there's a little raindrop too. Okay. So I'm just going to put that on there like that. Okay. Once they're on there, again, you can see I can also set up my own pattern paper too. So let's say I'm making this the background for all of my cards. I can make them all the same for mass production. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my ink. Slide this over so you can see. I'm going to go ahead and just get some ink in there. I think some of the smaller ink pads work better on this when you're trying to ink them up, because I seem to be getting lots of little smudgies. Okay, so I got it all inked up. So now I can go back in, stamp it. Okay, now let's say this was the exact placement I want every time. Now I can take my magnets off. Now again, be careful, these are extremely strong and they will pinch. Okay, so I've got that one. I can go ahead and take another piece of cardstock, and if I wanted to line up in the same place, I would just go in, set it all up, toss in my magnets. I'd go ahead, re-ink again. Okay. Take my little MISTI here, my mini MISTI, stamp it, lift up, and you can see I have the identical placement. Oh, and you saw that. Did you see that? They are strong. Be careful because they will chip, so be cautious. But again, you can see for mass production, I can go in and have a whole bunch of these all set up. So if I was working, like I said, on a swap or something like that, this is great because you can go through and kind of just manufacture, stamp them all at the same time, make sure they all line up where they're supposed to. Super helpful. Again, these are our calendar planner stamp set. This one is the original. This one is also available on Amazon, just so that you know. Well, thank you for watching another edition of our YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. If you like what we're doing, I'm going to go ahead and pop this little logo up with little Brentwood. Go ahead and click on that and subscribe. I really appreciate you following us and leaving us comments below. I'm also going to put up 2 videos for you to watch if you're interested. I do thank you again, and I look forward to working with you at JessicaLynnOriginal.com.